Kingdom Hearts HD 1.5 plus 2.5 Remix. 4 games, 2 movies, and one of the greatest stories in gaming history. Kingdom Hearts HD 1.5 Remix features 2 games and 1 movie. First, we have the final mixed version of the original Kingdom Hearts. Hide your kids, hide your princesses because they're snatching up everybody in Kingdom Hearts. This game starts off very slow as it's just a fetch quest game for the first 2 hours of the total of around 30. But a mysterious door unlocks one night and you and your friends go through because your kid's hungry for an adventure, of course. You want to leave this island you've lived on your whole life. But once you get there, you're alone. So with your newly acquired Keyblade, you set out on an adventure to find them. Meanwhile, King Mickey is gone as he notices the stars are going out, and Goofy and Donald are tasked with finding the key, and guess who's got it? You meet up and go on a crazy Disney adventure taking out the Heartless, trying to consume the different Disney worlds and snatching their princesses. So it's up to you to battle your way to the keyhole and sealing them back up. You'll go to 11 different playable locations in total, including places like Wonderland and the 100-Acre Woods. Meet all kinds of awesome Disney and Final Fantasy characters like the Beast and Cloud. Some will even join your party while you're in their worlds. This is a great experience for Disney fans, but the greatness ends there. Not to say it's bad, it's a decently fun game, but it feels very dated while it looks amazing remastered in HD. Proof that looks aren't everything. The biggest offense in this game is its platforming and camera. The platforming is insanely stiff, making some sections of the game ultra frustrating, like swinging on the vines in Tarzan's jungle. And Sora annoyingly dashes forward when he attacks, making encounters near ledges insanely frustrating, as falling from them can mean starting at the bottom all over again and killing enemies you already defeated. And the camera locks itself. It isn't 360 freedom, it chooses when you can and can't look behind you. You can adjust the camera a little in the options, but it doesn't take away the lock, which can definitely get frustrating during boss battles. Which is a shame because these boss battles are easily the coolest parts of the game and feature the coolest Disney villains, and all for the most part feel unique and different. The actual gameplay itself though feels like a bit of a drag. There's way too much backtracking here. Going to spots in the map and going back to others and back to this spot and back to the first spot and then back to the third spot to go back to the second spot and then finally back to the first spot. The worlds already do a bad job of feeling large as it is. The constant backtracking makes it feel worse. I feel the game would have greatly benefited from a more linear platforming style in this case. But as for the combat, it's pretty basic and hack and slashy. As you progress through the game and level up, you unlock new abilities, moves, and magic to eventually be able to roll, block, counterattack, heal yourself, and use fire attacks, just to name a few. And Donald and Goofy have their own sets of abilities and moves they've learned that can be managed in menu. They feel pretty useless in battle though. They have no concept of strategy programmed into them, which is frustrating when dealing with shielded enemies or bosses. They die frequently, but thankfully do heal after a while, or you can use items in battle to heal them yourself. You can also use summons to call on the most fierce characters in Disney history, like Simba or Bambi, to take their place for a few seconds to offer support. And I can't not mention the annoying ship sections between the worlds. They're not fun, and I hope they're gone in future titles. Kingdom Hearts feels like it drags on forever with its reliance on backtracking, but this game offers a great challenge, and if you're a Disney fan, it's still a pretty cool experience, taking on your favorite bad guys, meeting your favorite heroes, getting new weapons as you save their world, and helping restore balance. Next is the remix version of Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories. Chain of Memories is a direct sequel to Kingdom Hearts. This time your search for King Mickey takes you to the Castle of Oblivion. Your objective of the game is to make it up this castle one floor at a time, and conveniently each of these floors revisits your memories as the higher you go, the more you forget and remember at the same time. Perfect opportunity for developers to get lazy and just recycle. And that's exactly what they did. Chain of Memories is just the original Kingdom Hearts put into a card combat format with the excuse of memory loss. There's nothing new to see here other than a few characters in the Kingdom Hearts lore. But as for the Disney characters and worlds, it's revisiting the exact same places in the original. This is one of the rare instances where you're better off just watching all the cutscenes for the story on YouTube than actually spending 20 hours of your life playing through. Which is a shame because the game is actually really good and has potential to be addictive. Unlike the hack and slash meets 3D platforming style of the original, Chain of Memories is more of a dungeon crawler meets hack and slash card game. You go into a room, kill some Heartless for XP, and at the end of the fight they also drop a card. You use these cards to open new doors in these dungeons, and what's in these rooms is dependent on the card you play. The only rules to the cards you can use on the door is that the number has to match or be higher, and rarely you'll need to match or be lower for the card value. And each card has its own perks such as more Heartless, treasure room, a shop to buy cards for combat, among many other things. And for combat you attack with these cards in real time. The highest value gets the hit. It's very fast paced and rarely requires any thinking, but definitely requires a bit of strategy. But it's all very inaccessible, preventing you from raging during battles. You build up your deck with attacks, summon and magic cards you get throughout the world, and breakable items, shops, and story progression. But your deck does have a max amount of CP, and as you level up, you get to choose if you increase this cap, your HP, or learn a new sleight move, which is pulled off by stacking 3 weaker cards together for a more powerful attack, which gives reason to not just toss the weaker cards to the side or sell them. And you do have allies by your side, but you have to catch their cards mid-battle to call them in to do an attack, much like a summon. They aren't there fighting with you the whole time like in Kingdom Hearts 1, which is fine as the battles are miles easier here. It's a great concept, but again, the worlds in the story, even the boss fights, they're just compact versions of the real thing. It's all recycled from Kingdom Hearts 1, which kills this game. Kingdom Hearts 1 is the superior game. If you want to experience these Disney worlds, play that one instead. You do play as someone else in the final chunk of the game that I'm not going to say for spoilers, but even they're revisiting the same spots too. Chain of Memories is included in the collection and is definitely worth at least checking out, but don't be surprised when boredom kicks in, as you never see anything new. And finally is a movie version of Kingdom Hearts 358/2 Days. This actually is a game on the DS, but here it's just all of the cutscenes remastered from that game and put together as a 3-hour movie. This is actually for the better, as the DS game is repetitive and no fun to play through. It cuts the nonsense and further bridges the gap between Kingdom Hearts 1 and Kingdom Hearts 2 by telling the origin story of Roxas, a character introduced in Kingdom Hearts 2 and is teased in Chain of Memories. Because of his introduction in Kingdom Hearts 2, if you play these games in chronological order by story instead of the order they were released, this movie is going to be fairly confusing as you're getting answers to questions you don't quite have yet. I was in this boat, causing me to be very confused for the first 2 hours, but thankfully I was able to piece it all together. I just wish I was in on it from the start. Much like Kingdom Hearts HD 1.5 Remix, 2.5 Remix features 2 games in one movie. First up, we have the final mix version of Kingdom Hearts 2. Kingdom Hearts 2 in a way feels like an entirely different game, mostly for better but slightly for worse. You still visit a variety of Disneylands, but there's more emphasis on the original Kingdom Hearts story this time around than just helping out Disney characters. This time you're going after a group known as Organization 13, the group that caused all the memory loss problems with Sora in the past games that you fought so hard to re-earn. They're also after the Kingdom Hearts, for reasons I won't say. You're still taking out the Heartless and resealing doors in different Disney worlds, but now you're dealing with a new set of enemies known as Nobodies, who are pretty much just white versions of the Heartless. They're not in any way harder to deal with. The delivery of this game is miles better than the original Kingdom Hearts. It's about 8 hours longer, clocking in around 33 hours, but doesn't feel nearly as long thanks to the near perfect pacing of this game that only hiccups towards the end when you have to fight through 90,000 boss battles to get to the credits, much like the original Kingdom Hearts. But the other 30 hours is fast paced, and despite the open world style like the original, feels much more linear and there's little to no backtracking at all, making the playthrough actually fun. You can play through this game without a guide easily, as it doesn't waste your time. The game even does a great job most of the time stopping you from going in the wrong direction, reminding you where you should be going next in the world. And thankfully the AI and camera have greatly improved. The draw for most people is the Disney properties, and you won't be disappointed as you go to a variety of new locations to meet characters like Mulan and Jack Sparrow.
Captain Jack Sparrow, if you please.
Even finally going to places of characters you met in past games like Beast Castle. And the gummy ship part is back and somehow worse than last time. Seriously, get rid of them. They're still not fun. There are a handful of locations from the past games too, such as Atlantica and Halloween Town, but they all feel fresh and tell new stories of the characters. Even during the second half of the game when you have to revisit each location all over again, the game still manages to deliver a fresh experience each time. The delivery of the story isn't the only thing that got a makeover. Unfortunately, the gameplay style did as well. The original Kingdom Hearts had a great deal of 3D platforming elements, epic boss battles, and a Witcher 3 style combat system where it was all about strategy, dodging, attacks, and parrying. Kingdom Hearts 2 has practically erased all the 3D platforming elements and turned this more into a baby's first God of War game. It's heavily hack and slashing, and combat encounters are insanely easy compared to the original, which is a shame because it kills all satisfaction. They also got rid of the ability to roll and high jump outside of this new system called a drive form. You literally have to fill up a meter to be able to roll in combat. Awful idea, and makes it feel slow and again hack and slashy like a God of War game rather than fast and fluent like a Witcher 3 style. And the boss battles here aren't these epic showdowns with villains. You're fighting generic heartless bosses for the most part and members of Organization 13. There are also a ton of God of War style QuickTime events thrown in here. And the game adds time trials and other gimmicks to encounters rather than having unique showdowns the original had. There's nothing memorable in the gameplay, and the boss battles are forgettable. Sure, it's more fun to go through Kingdom Hearts 2 than Kingdom Hearts 1, but the original Kingdom Hearts felt much much more satisfying to get through. A mix of the two when you have a perfect game. You just feel too handcuffed here. The game chooses when you can and can't use your drive forms. It chooses when you can and can't call in a summon. It locks off simple abilities like rolling. The new MP gauge is one line instead of broken up, leading to a lot of guesswork when using the magic, which honestly discouraged me from using it at all. But despite all this, the story still pulled me through. The charm of the Disney worlds and characters, it all pulled me through. This is my favorite Kingdom Hearts game so far. I just hope to see a marriage of 1 and 2 in Kingdom Hearts 3. Then we have the final mixed version of Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep. Birth by Sleep is a prequel to the original Kingdom Hearts that reveals the importance of Sora, Riku, and Kairi. Here you actually play as 3 different characters, Terra, Ventus, and Aqua, 3 wannabe Keyblade masters. You get to choose which order you play their stories in. I suggest playing them in the order from top to bottom. Each of their stories lasts around 8 hours each, bringing the game to around 24 hours, not including the secret ending, which getting to could take you beyond 30 in total. And while each of the characters revisit the same locations, they each not only see different sections of the worlds you visit, but they meet different characters and all have their own unique storylines and cutscenes, making the journey through all 3 characters' stories fresh and well worth it. Even better, Birth by Sleep actually feels standalone as it introduces new Disney worlds and characters, really only revisiting 3 places from past games. It feels just as fresh as the Kingdom Hearts 2 jump. And remember how I said I'd love to see a marriage between Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2 and Kingdom Hearts 3? Well, that marriage is here. Not only is there a straightforward path and a great indication of where to go to progress the story, but the combat is more skill-based like the original Kingdom Hearts rather than hack and slashy like Kingdom Hearts 2. Things are a bit different though, as they kinda took a page out of the Chain of Memories book where you have to build a deck of special attacks and magic, which adds another layer of strategy. You can do normal attacks all you want, but you have to quickly scroll through your special attacks and items in a deck of limited slots. You can pick up new spells and attacks from enemy drops, chests, and stores. And a combination of these attacks can put you into one of various Super Saiyan type forms called combat styles that temporarily boost your attacks and allows you to try to build up to a powerful move, as well as the cool shot lock system where you can lock onto enemies and release a pulse of attacks, really useful for bosses that fly across the screen and groups of smaller enemies. And you're also on your own here for the most part, no Donald and Goofy by your side, but some characters will occasionally but rarely join your party. And you can de-link with characters you run across, which allows you to use their moves during battle. But much like Kingdom Hearts 2, you feel pretty handcuffed with this ability, as sometimes it's locked off and sometimes it's not. It's unpredictable, so don't rely on it. The bosses' encounters are miles better than Kingdom Hearts 2, going back to the roots of epic showdowns and dodging and blocking incoming attacks. But in Kingdom Hearts fashion, there are insanely annoying difficulty spikes toward the end of each of the characters' stories. The game never wants to end, and it just throws boss after boss at you who are 1,000,000 times harder than anything you fought the entire game and kills all flow. Normally I don't mind as much. I still mind, but it's worse here because again, you're playing through the story 3 different times to piece it all together. The boss encounters are all different, but each character goes through this insane difficulty spike at or near the end. Especially Aqua. Her toughest boss isn't even the final one. It's before the final showdowns and was the first time in Kingdom Hearts history I had to step away and go grind a few levels and come back. Difficulty spikes are annoying, and the spikes here really left a bad taste in my mouth of what otherwise is a really cool and charming Disney and Kingdom Hearts adventure. It doesn't quite take the crown from Kingdom Hearts 2 as my favorite game in the series, but it came pretty close, and even put its fingers on the crown a few times during my journey towards the credits. And in my opinion, while not my favorite game in the series, Birth by Sleep is the best game in the series and is a must play. Finally, we have the remix version of Kingdom Hearts Coded. Kingdom Hearts Recoded is a 3-hour movie version of the Nintendo DS game. It's a sequel to Kingdom Hearts 2, but is basically just a recap of Kingdom Hearts 1 and Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories. Mickey is trying to refill Jiminy Cricket's journal that got swiped in Castle Oblivion by using a digital version of Sora. That's how little this story matters. Because of this, you'll be just fine by watching the first few chapters and the final few chapters in Chapter Select, as I set up what's to come and do add a bit of closure. I wasn't sure what I was getting myself into. It took me 15 years to finally give this series a shot, and I'm so glad I finally did. There wasn't one entry in this entire series that didn't bring a tear to my eye. This collection is full of magic, love, and light. Not just for fans of Disney, but fans of storytelling in general. It will truly make you feel like a kid again. I give Kingdom Hearts HD 1.5 plus 2.5 Remix a 9 out of 10. If you play Kingdom Hearts HD 1.5 plus 2.5 Remix, tell me what you thought about it down in the comment section below. If you haven't played it, tell me if you plan on picking it up. Thumbs up. If you like the video, subscribe if you're new to the channel. And thanks for watching.